It's a working environment like no other. Sounds of 50 cals on Strikers, chain guns on Bradley fighting vehicles, and tanks plowing through the mud are a daily occurrence. To us, it's the sound of gunfire and heavy machinery. But if you're a soldier here, it's called the sound of freedom. This is life on one of America's largest military installations, Fort Benning.
I've been here now for almost 9 years, and this is what I know as my Army career. I've been stationed here with the USAMU for the 9 years, working on this range. And it's a blessing, it's a privilege, it's a true honor to be a part of the Army, this unit, and this post.
Meet Staff Sergeant Josh Richmond.
Oh!
USAMU stands for United States Army Marksmanship Unit, a unit dedicated to putting the best shooters in all disciplines on the world stage. He may be a member of the most elite shooting team in the world, but Josh is not much different than any other soldier on post. A country kid with a deep commitment to country and family.
Well, my name's Josh Richmond, and I was born and raised in Hillsgrove, Pennsylvania, a little town northeast of Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And I just grew up shooting with a family as a hobby. My whole family shoots, from my grandparents down to my parents.
These home videos show Josh taking his first shots with a 20 gauge.
How old are you?
5.
It's one of those Tiger Woods golf film videos that you see from these golfers. It's a video of homemade on the front porch of my grandparents' house, and they actually had to bet me $5 to shoot this shotgun because I was a little bit intimidated of the shotgun kick and blast.
You got it.
That thing hurts. Ow.
And that's kind of where it all started.
But it didn't scare you off.
It didn't scare me off. I guess it maybe did the opposite.
As a young shooter, he was a natural, winning early and often. So much so, the Army Marksmanship Unit quickly recruited him to their shotgun team. This meant shooting as a full-time job. He would be given all the tools and resources to become the best shooter in the world.
I received a call from the USAMU about the June or July timeframe when I was graduating in August, and I wanted to do it instantly.
Still, the thought of joining the Army at the outbreak of war raised concerns in the Richmond family.
My family at first was a little bit nervous because of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan and the conflicts that we were entering at the time, and they were a little bit concerned about my safety. But after talking with them a little bit, let them know that this is what I needed to get me to the next level, and especially in the shooting sports. I felt like it was the right thing to do for my country and to be able to give back.
Most of the time, Josh trains and competes. But the primary mission of the AMU is to train the rest of the Army, an assignment that has taken Sergeant Richmond into war zones.
We try to give a lot of these skills and talents that we as individuals possess back to the warfighter on the front line, and we do that through our train-to-trainers and our instructor training group here with the USAMU. I actually had the privilege of deploying to Afghanistan in the fall of 2011, a year before going to the Olympic Games. I volunteered to go over there and kind of give back to my brothers in arms over there and help create, as well as help teach the Afghan Army, National Army, basic rifle and pistol marksmanship and a 6-man team.
So 1 year before the Olympics, you're in a war zone.
That's correct.
The 2012 London Games were the highlight of his shooting career. Though fresh off a tour in Afghanistan and a defending world champion, the Olympics were something else entirely.
2012 was my first Olympics. It was a very awesome experience, to say the least, and I can say nothing right now to even begin to tell you the feelings that were running through my body. You know, I remember, let me stop for a second. Whew. I just thought about walking in over the ceremonies. It sticks out, the Olympic ceremonies, it really sticks out for you. I remember walking down through and being next to Kobe Bryant, you know, and all these other guys, and as I'm walking through, you hear USA, USA, and you know, it's hard. You think about everyone that's touched your life to get you there, and here I am standing next to Kobe Bryant, and he's saying, wow, wow, and he's speechless. And this man's been on NBA Finals, you know, World Championship rings, he's on his own Olympic team, and he doesn't know what to say. I looked at myself, and it was one of those things where coming from a small town, small world, never really knowing what to expect, but here's someone to compare that type of lifestyle to who's overwhelmed. It touched me, and I won't ever forget that.
Now his sights are focused on 2016 and the Rio de Janeiro Games, hoping that the drive and talent that brought him to this point will lead to the medal stand.
I've matured much better as a shooter and a person, much more goal-oriented. Now that I've somewhat have got my feet wet, if you will, I see myself being more, diligent in my training. I know what to focus on now and what maybe not to focus on so much. I find myself being much more goal-oriented. I mean, I was so close to that big piece of the pie.
You're one of the best shotgun shooters in the world. You are one of the best at your sport. You stay very humble. How do you do that? How do you stay so humble and grounded?
Well, that's kind of a tough question to answer. When you say that, I don't know if that title fits. In fact, sometimes I hear people say, hey, you're a world champion. Hey, you're an Olympian. It's hard for me to sit back and say, hey, I did it. Wow, I've made an Olympic team. Oh, I won a world championships. Not that I'm taking it for granted, but there's always something else out there I'm trying to achieve. And when one door closes, another one opens, and I'm trying to get there as fast as I can.
Ball.